MeTV 24 Meridian proudly presents your favorite way to start the day. Welcome to Mornings with Scotty Ray and Candace.
And good Wednesday morning, Scotty Ray and Candace, and I highly suggest a tube top today because it's going to be hot.
Yeah, it is going to be hot.
107 heat index. Now, are you prepared for that?
I'm going to be inside, so yes, I am prepared.
But truthfully, that's that kind of heat where you can't get enough air in.
It is smothery hot. Like yesterday when I was getting in my vehicle after work, it feels smothery outside. Like you don't get enough air. But
between the hours of 10 and 7 p.m., it's best, really, if you don't have to be out in the heat, to stay inside.
That's right.
Right now, we're already at like 78 this morning.
It was like 85 early yesterday morning, when I was headed to work. But I know my thermostat thing in my car registered 100 yesterday. I don't know if that's...
By the 24th, somewhere along there, we'll look at this in just a little while at our forecast. Their normal temperature will be like 102 to 103. I remind you, we're still in June. We have not reached what they call the dog days of summer, which is on into August. And that's what's lying ahead for us.
Yes. I remember being expecting a child in September and having to go through all those summer months, it was just miserable. So I feel for women.
Jeremiah Johnson says it's cool right now. He's in Seattle, Washington, and 54 degrees there. Yeah, no such thing here in Mississippi.
Yeah, that must be nice.
Cindy Skipper says she's sweating already in Sugarlock.
But I'm sure. Look, but your air conditioners are working overtime, too, trying to keep your house cool.
It is.
So hopefully nobody's goes out. I'm sure there will be.
True. Yeah. I wanted to bring this up. If you're in law enforcement, the Meridian Police Department made a statement yesterday that any citizen or agency that would like to go to the memorial service, don't forget that's going to be Thursday at Meridian High School. They've put that up, 1 o'clock. We'll be there for that. And then all agencies and support staff that would like to travel over to Tuscaloosa for the ceremony that's going to be taking place for Officer Kroom. They're going to leave the Meridian Police Department between 9 and 9:30, and it'll be kind of like a caravan. Yeah. And if you'd like to take part of that and you're in law enforcement, show support as Meridian travels over, be at the Meridian Police Department there on 22nd Avenue, Saturday morning between 9 and 9:30, and then it will lead from there. Big show of support for that. And again, Meridian High School on Thursday afternoon at 1 o'clock. And they will also do a balloon release of the young lady that lost her life at her workplace there on Windmill Drive on Highway 39 there at the nursing home. So lots of ways to take advantage of and a few other things. I want to mention this. CrossFit Ludus, they did a workout in honor of the officer this weekend, and they raised some money for the family. I think they raised around $468. Yeah, that was real nice of them. They worked out on Saturday morning. A big thank you to Ben Lockhart and all the gang that participated in that and made a donation. These donations help family members.
Yeah, they do. It just, like I said it yesterday, and I say it all the time, it's so good for the community to come together and help people out like that.
It is.
That's a good thing about Southerners, they seem very anxious to help people. So
now let's get to business and talk about a few things this morning of what went on in Meridian last night. As the day was winding down, we start hearing reports of someone is shot in Meridian, and someone was shot in the arm. They would get to the hospital by themselves. They would get there. The police arrived at where the shooting took place, and there was a man standing outside with a gun. He ran in the home, and then at that point, they heard more gunshots. He barricaded himself in the home, and this would be an hour and a half standoff at the home. Let's show you this. This is going to be, and I'll show you the maps too, but let me show you the outside. Let's go here first, and let me show you this. Several things so you'll know in relationship where everything is and what went on last night. I got to scroll down. It takes just a second. I wasn't as prepared as I thought I was. Here's the map, and then I'll show you a picture of the house. Here's where this took place last night. This is just a couple of blocks from this car sitting here. This is going to be right about where Comcast is, and it will be west of where Comcast is. The Temple Theater sits here, and then this is where this all happened last night. Now, let me show you a picture of the home so that you've probably driven by it of where this all happened yesterday. Here's the picture of the home. And that button there. This is the home where all this went down. The police surrounded this area for an entire city block. It was put down on lockdown.
So are they calling this a domestic dispute also, or just...
They have not. I've reached out to the Meridian Police Department for more details, and what I've gotten is that it is still under investigation, and they will pass along more information when it's possible. Okay. I did speak with Billy Solly last night as this standoff continued. The Lauderdale County Sheriff's Department, the SWAT team, was called in to go in and handle this, and as the SWAT team arrived on scene, and it may be that he saw that SWAT was coming, he surrendered and came out without incident. That is the good news. But let me go into this, because safety is the utmost concern when we have these. The police had this blocked off, and people were watching. You can't help, but if you lived in that neighborhood, you, like anybody, would want to see what happened.
Well, yeah.
Now,
and I'm sure, they know these people.
Correct. Yeah. Now, where things get a little hairy, I had people on the scene sending me pictures, texting me, letting me know what was happening. I also found a live stream of somebody that was there videoing it. This is where things get dangerous. The only thing missing was the guy from the stand selling hot dogs walking around. They were within 30 to 40 feet of the front porch.
Yeah, that's
I even
scary.
saw a baby stroller go strolling by as there's a standoff. Someone could have seriously been hurt had this guy just decided to start taking shots outside of the home, because you never know how someone is going to react. I'm telling you, peanuts, get your peanuts here. That's the only thing that was missing.
I guess people might think, oh, I know them, I'm going to be fine. They might think that. But if somebody's shooting a gun in a house and they've shot someone, or, they're unstable. So you don't know what the next move is going to be, so don't take that chance.
But at the end of the day, everything de-escalated and no one was hurt. Thank goodness. But and I just say all of that to... The next time something happens like this, really think of what could go wrong in this situation. Right. And I'll say this, I had me and Mike Street, who teaches all of this. He's a big trainer for police departments all across the United States. When it's a standoff, he was telling me, all right, this needs to happen, this is what should happen. And it was really interesting watching it and listening this play out through someone who is trained to take someone out that does this.
Yeah.
It was mind blowing of what he knew and what to do next, and it was eye opening. I'll word it that way. Now, is the police chief out of town? Yes, a lot of people are upset over that. But I did get sent something, and I want to share this because I like to be fair, down the middle on everything that is done. There are a lot of people that have been out of shape over her being out of town while a police officer was shot, and then we had this incident last night. But I'm going to have to use my glasses on this. And let me read you this, because without a doubt, again, I want to be fair on everything that is said and done. And this is Mississippi Code. The chief of police of any town in the state of Mississippi is required to annually complete 20 hours of executive level continuing education courses, which are approved by the Mississippi Board of Law Enforcement Officer Standards and Training. Any new chief of police having never previously served in the capacity is required to complete 40 hours of executive level continuing education courses for his first year of service, his or her. Such education courses may be provided at an accredited law enforcement academy or by the Mississippi Association of Chiefs of Police. Now, what I do not know is if this is offered at a different time, if it could have been postponed, or it had to be done during the month of June to get it in. There was nowhere else to get it.
Well, I'm sure like everything, that's like pre-arrangements for that done, pre-planned. So, yeah.
My question the only question left is, would it have been offered at another time outside of this?
Yeah.
It truly may have been a situation where she could not change it and had no choice but to be there after reading that. And again, I want to be fair on anything that is said and done. To be determined. I'll ask and see what we can come with on that. Love to hear from her as well.
Yeah.
anything to do with that. That's kind of how last night was shaping up. Now, what led up to this? Right before that, before this happened, before someone was shot, we got reports of shot fired in Meridian, also just a few blocks away. I'm not sure that this was not a part of that. I have no way of knowing. But let me show you here as we go to the map. This was 17th Street and 18th Avenue where this went down. This would be, here's Anderson's Hospital. It's just a couple of blocks to the northeast of there at a stop sign that shots were reported. It was a white car that someone saw that bang, bang, bang.
Yeah.
Now, we don't like to hear that. We don't like to see that on our city streets, do we?
Is there a shortage of ammo?
No, there's not.
Okay. Like, I'm wondering, I thought at one time there was like a shortage of ammo, and then we got people like...
Actually, there still is.
Okay.
Yes. It is very hard to get.
So, obviously, there's no shortage with them because they just randomly firing,
Well, I'm sure it's just like with anyone. They go and buy as much as they can and put it up. And we're meaning people that are in gangs and people that shoot in the air.
Right.
And that's what is meant by that term. It's just part of it. And you know how somebody will loan you a box of bullets. I'm sure that happens out there.
I'm sure.
Boy, howdy. But they have not run out
No, they
by any
haven't.
means.
Goodness.
That's just a start of what we've got for you this morning of what's going on in Meridian in the last 24 hours. More to share. Don't go anywhere. We're going to bring it all to you next here. Scotty Ray and Candace as we begin your Wednesday.
At Parish Tractor, we're more than just a tractor store. We strive to cultivate life and support the lives of farmers everywhere. Come see us June 17th for our Kubota Field event because to us, supporting means giving back to you with 0% financing on select Kubota equipment, raffle and giveaways, demos, and service and parts specials. Come share a meal with Parish Tractor on June 17th and let us show you why we're more than a tractor store.
My dad was a farmer. My granddaddy, too. I was always pretty proud of that. When my truck was hit by a company vehicle, I thought I was going to have to sell the farm. Thanks to Richard Swartz, I didn't have to.
I'm here for you. One call, that's all.
And welcome back with Scotty Ray and Candace. You made a good point here just a moment ago.
Talking about ammunition, I said, are they making their own bullets or what's going on? I mean, if there's a shortage and they can get it that easily.
Maybe it's reloading stations that they have.
Yeah.
Of people that go bang bang in the middle of the night. Always a concern for everyone. Safety is the utmost thing. Always, as we've pointed out, if you live in an area, make sure to put cameras up so you can report to the police if something goes on.
That's right.
That's the most serious thing that we had last night, no loss of life. Now, I got a lot of calls yesterday. I was sitting in the studio yesterday, minding my own business, looking for stories to talk about, and I started getting ding, 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 ding. What is happening in the Zero community? There is the popo everywhere. And they were.
Yeah.
They were combing the area for someone that had broken the law, that had a warrant out for their arrest. And after speaking with the Lauderdale County Sheriff's Department, well, we got an answer to what actually went on as we pull this up from Sam Media. This is the guy that they were looking for. They were looking for Guy McCrae. And you can go to Sam Media and pull up the entire, you just click there, it'll pull up his arrest report there. Lots of charges there, fleeing and eluding being added to that. And that's not a nice charge to have against you. Some stolen vehicles, some other things included with that. But if you want to read more about that and wonder why the police were so heavy in that area out in Zero and out in Long Creek, that's what was going on.
I know a lot of people would wonder, was he the one fleeing the other day? They were trying to, but it wasn't. That was not the one, right?
We did catch our man that ran through Meridian at speeds coming up on the city limits of well over 100 miles an hour. As we dig
in the
deep,
Hyundai, right?
Yeah, well, it ended up not being a Hyundai. We all thought it was a Hyundai.
Oh, what was it?
It comes out to be a Ford. Boy, those Fords will really get it.
Well, why I'm here?
Yeah, a Ford Escape is it. You might want to invest in one of these because you're always running behind.
Yeah,
as we now know.
Yeah, I might have to get an Escape. That's a perfect.
Yeah, it fit.
Yeah, it did. It fit the situation.
And what happened with this? And let's show you a picture here of what went on. I'm going to show you two pictures. As we go back to Sam Media, this gentleman here came up on a checkpoint, and he handed his driver's license over. As he handed the driver's license there, I think he looked a little nervous and decided, I don't want to look at this cop anymore, and commenced to taking off. Ran over a Newton County deputy's foot in the pursuit to get away.
Oh, goodness.
Okay.
I didn't even know that.
With that being said, that gets you a new charge. He would jump back on I-20 and start coming toward Meridian. As he got to the split, running way past 100, I won't even go into that number, but it was heavy.
Yeah.
Somehow, some way, as he entered the city limits of Meridian, it's not known if he took a right-hand turn and took some back streets and then got back on 20, but he eluded police. It didn't take long. He was found the next day. As we look at this, look how far this guy got.
Goodness.
He made it all the way to Thomaston, Georgia, before he was detected. That's 5 hours and 16 minutes from running over the deputy's foot back here.
Oh, my gosh. Now, is he from Meridian?
No. He was from South Carolina. Some people call it South Carolinians or Carolinians. How do you say that word?
I guess it would be Carolinian. Maybe.
It sounds a little peculiar for me to say.
Yeah, but to go on back streets in Meridian that fast and in a hurry and get away, I would have thought he'd have been from Meridian.
Yeah,
if you don't know those streets, and a lot of them are one-way streets.
I think it's Waze, the app, used by a lot of folks to avoid a lot of traffic.
Yeah.
We may have to make a new commercial for that.
Yeah.
Waze is pretty good. But as we look at this, his name, as we get into this, is Donald Dunson. He was arrested and charged with felony fleeing and aggravated assault of a Newton County Sheriff's deputy. Shame. But again, he had
Everybody knows your name.
He had already given his driver's license. So that tells you that he had to get away at all cost because, let's just be smart about it, something was in the car that he didn't want anybody to find.
He wanted something. He was hiding something, obviously, or didn't want them knowing
Might have had
something.
some of them good brownies that they share at parties and stuff. I'm not sure.
Who knows? I don't know. But when you go in that high of speed away from trying to run from the cops, you got something that you don't want somebody knowing. So.
I'm telling you, y'all got a great sheriff in Newton County. If you've never met Jody Pennington, I urge you to shake hands with him and talk with him. Utmost safety and concern for the folks of Newton County. That's 2 times that people have tried to get away from them over there. Shame on y'all. Shad White has been busy. I mean, that man, does he ever sleep?
I was fixing to say, I don't think he ever must sleep at all. He's just busy. He's probably up all night, going through records.
I'm telling you, and he was spotted in Kemper County. They camped out 2 weeks up there, and I haven't heard anything since they were there. We'll see what becomes of that. But you know where they did stay a little while? Sunflower County, Mississippi. They have found a discrepancy in the books of about $40,000 by the time they investigated. They come up with a figure of $62,627 owed back to Mississippi taxpayers. What happened? As we pull this up, this is what Shad White has released as we look at this. This is from their webpage. You can check it out. The former executive director of the nonprofit On Track has pleaded guilty.
Gosh, see, she wrote herself $20,000 in checks, withdrew money from the ATM at the local casino of nearly $2,000 on personal travel. She's busy.
She was. Shad White caught it. Now, and I urge y'all this. Now, and I call this common folks that take $20,000 here. But he also goes after people that do what we call the white-collar crimes, which is high level, as we saw that case of the millions that was taken from the taxpayers that he arrested. And the mother and son have been charged in that and got to repay back all those millions to the well, it was the fund that was set up to help the needy. The poorest of poor in our state was taken.
Goodness.
Shad White is making quite the name for himself. And as taxpayers, we need people like that.
Right.
As I said, the man just doesn't sleep. He really does care about the state.
I think it's good that he's, cleaning up people's towns and the state. I think it's good.
I showed this picture earlier. I do a broadcast before Candace comes in, just a little update in the morning at 6:30 that we talk about things that are going on in the community. And we go down to, this is going to be in Clark County. Let's look here. Let's show you the pictures here where this was. Pine Hill community. As we look at this. This is from Mississippi, from Clark County Hot Topics here. This was a Chevrolet that wrecked. And a couple called the sheriff's department. And they said, look, I got some guy standing out in front of my house, beating on the windows. Sheriff's department arrives and they responded there. Pine Hill is where it was. And the guy had wrecked. And he goes, wait a minute. I might have had a drink, but I'm not driving. And he said a female was driving the truck. And sure enough, she corroborated the story. but still a wreck happened. And I brought that story up because people don't just let people in their homes anymore like we used to.
Yeah, they don't. I mean, you're afraid to do that. Even if you want to help somebody, you're afraid.
Yeah.
You know, and I hate that feeling, being, torn as to what to do. Because I've been faced with that, like out in public or something.
Yeah.
If you see somebody in need, when you're wondering, like, well, is there somebody standing in the bushes if I pull over to help somebody, And as a woman, I would never pull over by myself. I would just call maybe 911 and get them to come help.
We did have a comment, and Charlotte, I agree with, let's see here, Brooke Sibley put that. She said it's not just Shad White. He does have a team, and he does. He has a team of investigators that go hard and heavy, and we respect that. They're good at what they do.
Yeah.
It's behind his leadership that makes this happen. As with any police department, any mayor, any president, they've got to have the right team to make things happen. As we see Meridian, to where sometimes the city council doesn't jihad with the mayor's office.
Right.
It's the same old story all across America. We see things of that nature.
And that, to me, that limits what a town can do.
Yes, it does.
I mean, very much so. I think they need to work together for sure.
As I look at
We have a visitor in here, a little flying.
that's Fred, Fred the Third.
I guess he's liking flying right in front of my face.
I bring up this next story. We're going to step across. We're going to go west of Meridian. We're going to go all the way to California, out to where the Golden Gate Bridge is. I bring this up to make a point. A 6-year-old little boy was murdered there by a gun. And the father speaks up. California, as we all know, has the strictest gun laws that exist. And the father makes the statement, the gun laws aren't helping. These were criminals in the biggest state that still had guns. They got them one way or another. It is not, making gun laws does not always help. Criminals are going to be criminals, whether it's a gun, it's a stick, it's a piece of dirt, or if it's a handkerchief that they go out. You've seen these people.
Or ammo.
Yes.
I mean, you can't get ammo? Well, they can. Can't get a gun? They'll have one. It's crazy. They're not going to give their guns up.
Criminals do what they do. And until we as a nation decide to penalize the actual criminal and not the taxpayer, we're not going to solve problems. We've got to get to a point in our nation to where we hold people accountable for what they do as an individual. I urge you, and why did I say that? I brought this up earlier too. 2022-24, vote. Every vote counts, and the only way it works is if you get out and you get your next door neighbor to go. Check your neighborhood. It doesn't matter if they vote the same way you do or not. Just make sure that they vote. If they've got children that are out of town, that they have 4 people in their house and they're the only one there, get them to vote absentee.
Right.
The more people that turn out, change can happen. So many times across America, our elected officials are chosen by those very few people that are very vocal that get out and vote, and everybody else goes, well, there's no reason for me to go. I can't make a difference. Yes, you can.
And, they have gone back to paper in Mississippi.
Yes.
They've gone back to paper ballots. So it's much easier, especially for elderly people. They don't have to stand in these long lines. So if you did not know that and you have been avoiding going to vote because you didn't want to stand in long lines, you're able to just go in and fill out your paper, and they put it through the little scanner thing, and you're done. So don't just sit at home and not vote. You might have somebody that can take you there if you can't get there.
And you watch this from other large cities to where they stand in line for hours to vote. I credit them for standing there that long, but boy, they need to get a system. I would think that the United States as a whole, on any voting issue, should have it set up to where each state votes the same. That's my thought. To where at the night when the poll closes, within 10 minutes, they know the results.
Right.
I think that can be figured out. We are a nation that put somebody on the moon.
Well, just look at this race against Michael Guest and Michael Cassidy, how close that race ended up. So now they're going to have a runoff, and I think it's going to be the 28th,
It
right?
is.
So your vote does count. It really does. A lot of times, I heard them talking this morning, I think they had Donna Jill on there, and she was saying a lot of times it comes down to just a number of a few votes.
It does.
That can determine who wins. And, everybody is sick and tired of all the mess that's going on in our nation. We want to turn things around and make it a better country like it once was. This is the way to do that. Encourage everybody to vote. And I really do think, in my heart, I feel like it's going to be a bigger turnout this go round because people are tired of this country being run in the ground, and they're tired of the way things are going in their own cities. And this is a way to make a difference. So make sure you do your part.
I just got an answer to the question that I asked a minute ago about the conference of you have to put in so many hours if you're a new police chief. And it said you had to do this within your first year. Here's the answer that I got. It says you are required as a new chief to get 20 hours. However, if you miss a conference, you can make it up the next year. All you have to do is contact them, and they will set it up and reschedule it for you. So that answers that. That's that says a lot. And I wanted to be fair and know the answer to that. And now we know it could have been rescheduled, just so everybody knows. Let's see. This bothers me to no end. And I also was mumbling about this morning as I had only had 2 cups of coffee and I wasn't myself yet.
Oh, yeah. This is...
The border agents, now, they have so much ground to travel. They are faced with what y'all have no imagine that you cannot even fathom each day on their job. I was in South Texas on a job 5-7 years ago in the middle of nowhere. I'm telling you. And if something happens to you, there ain't no hospital. There's nobody around to help you. They have cameras set up. It looks just like the prairie with the tumbleweeds coming by. They have cameras set up. I was there, and this group of about 40 illegals came through at one time. It wasn't 20 minutes later. Here they come. Boogie there. After them. The Rangers, which mounted Texas Border Patrol that ride horses. Do y'all remember this when the photographer took a picture at an angle? And
they had split reins on their horses, which go this way and that way as they're riding their horses. Because the horses are going, they're darting left to right. And the reins just fly with them when they're doing. And
nowhere did they ever whip. Was it the Haitian people, the migrants that were coming in? They never laid a hand on them, but they were blamed for it. Joe Biden, that lives at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, vowed that he would make them pay. Now, they have since been cleared. Again, 100% cleared of doing anything wrong. But he's still pursuing and will...
says they will be disciplined.
He's going to discipline them for nothing that they've done wrong. Now, what does that say to our law enforcement?
It's crazy to me. That's an abuse of power right there. A major abuse of power if they do that. Because when they were cleared, it should have been a cut and dry, it's done.
Yeah. And an apology would have been nice.
Right.
I'm just thinking outside the box here.
Because not only, would that embarrass them? Because they did not do any wrong, except doing their job. I just think it's crazy.
Small thoughts, but that is one of the things that is going on around the nation this morning. Don't forget, I want to remind you about this. This is important as we always try to take care of our own. We've got a community event coming up this weekend. It's going to be at the Temple Theater. There's a fundraiser being done for Richard Ferguson, him and his wife. His wife was very sick. There's a gospel concert, and we've got the pictures here as we look at this, all for Alexis. This is going to be this weekend.
Right. I'm going to show you this. This is Alexa right here. They're going to have 5 groups. It's going to be Second Mile, the Down East Boys, the Bible Tones, Bluegrass Cartel, and the Kingsmen. So if you like to listen to gospel music, you need to go and take part in that. And they're going to be $20 tickets in advance. And if you buy them the day of the concert, it's $25.
Now, barbecue plates are going to be also sold. And also, they've got a raffle that they're selling tickets to also. And I was looking for, there's another place that we're going to be selling tickets, and I don't here it is. Let's see here if I can find this. Let's see. Friday afternoon. Let's see. They will be at the Temple Ballroom this Friday from 11 until 6 selling tickets. Friday afternoon from 11 until 6 p.m. If you haven't purchased your tickets, you can do that. You can save $5 by buying early. It'll be a little bit higher there. $25 at the door. So drop in and visit. Ray will be there set up helping out Richard.
That's right. We never know when that's going to be one of us.
I know.
And it's a wonderful thing when they can come together and raise money to help people out, because not only did they have medical bills, their regular bills keep coming, and they're having to take off to go. He would have to take off and be with his wife, and so help these people out.
Yep, that's coming up this weekend. Scotty Ray Candace, bright and early this morning. Spring is here, and it's time to quit spending all of your weekend cutting grass when you could step up to a Skag zero-turn mower. Freeman Tractor in Collinsville has the #1 rated zero-turn mower, Skag, with cutting widths from 36 inches to 72 inches. Skag, the #1 choice of professional landscapers because they know nothing outcuts or outlasts a Skag. 0% financing for 48 months with payments starting as low as $129 a month. Stop by Freeman Tractor on Highway 494 and see coleslaw or buttermilk.
One of the most important places to you is your home. That's why Patrick Allen Companies is proud to provide style, functionality, and security to your home. There's nothing quite like a well-designed overhead garage door or vinyl replacement windows, or the safety of a storm shelter to help your family feel protected. Patrick Allen offers doors and windows for commercial and industrial with dozens of innovative designs. Patrick Allen Companies, safety, service, and satisfaction.
Anita Flo, you should be ashamed. Now you have caused me to get a song stuck in my head again. She said it's a beautiful day, and it popped in my head. Diamond Rio. Do y'all remember the song, What a Beautiful Day? Mm-hmm. Now it's hung in my head. And I have to admit, early this morning, have you ever had something where you wake up and you go, why was I even dreaming that or thinking about it? Mm-hmm. I woke up with a Kenny Rogers song in my head, and I'd like to tell you, on a warm summer's eve, on a train bound for nowhere, that was not what I was hearing. It was You Decorated My Life. And I'm going, why is this song in my head?
Because Angie decorates all the time, and she has decorated your home.
But of all the Kenny Rogers songs in the world, I think of that lame, You Decorated My Life. It was almost shameful. I was almost
that song.
But I was almost too embarrassed to admit that was in my head at 4 a.m. when I got up. Why? I ask why. What did I do wrong in life?
I hate when a song gets stuck in my head, though. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Because all day long, I mean, and for days. I have had one for days. Like every spare moment I got, that song's in my head.
I'm going for something more manly. I'm going to re-listen to some Leonard Skinner all day long. Maybe that'll wake up thinking about that. Sweet Home Alabama, maybe.
Yeah,
As we turn to take a look at a few things that happened in history, and I bring this up because history is history. So many folks have no idea how Arlington Cemetery, which is in our capital, ever began. It would be in 1864 that they didn't want an old boy to come back home. They wanted to seize his property, take away his home. And in order to do that, they had to do something ultimately mean. Mm-hmm. They started burying soldiers in his wife's rose garden, where he could never return to his home once again. It happened just that way. They buried 5,000 people in his front yard. And who am I talking about? Robert E. Lee. The United States government would take his home and do this. Of course, this home was tied to General George Washington, as he was, of course, in the Confederacy. But they wanted to ensure that Robert E. Lee would never return home. They even passed a law that said in order to pay your taxes, you had to do it in person and no one else could pay them for you, which meant your property was seized. He was offered the head of the Union Army, but couldn't draw a sword against the state of Virginia, where his people was from, and that's how all that became. He knew in the beginning that the South would never win. He stated so many times. But that's a little trip down how Arlington Cemetery came to be an act of unkindness, of making sure somebody couldn't come home.
That's Arlington House, I never knew that.
Visit it. It's a beautiful place, and we honor those Americans who have given their all there at Arlington. Yes. We'll remember that again with July 4th and as we get into Memorial Day, but keep it in mind. 1937, and I see a misspelled word coming y'all's way. Let me warn you before it hits the TV screen.
This is a new word.
Yeah. Borm. B-O-R-M.
Yeah. Hey, well, in the day and time of people making words up of anything they want to use, you fit right in, Scotty Ray.
One of my heroes was born on this day back in 1937. Way more. Watausa Jennings was born, and of course he was a legend in country music, born on this date. And so many songs. Lukenbach, Texas, and Mamas Don't Let Your Babies Grow Up to Be Cowboys.
Yes.
Now, this young lady who was also born, you're only going to credit one song to her. Then do you know what that song is? Let me lean over and ask her. Somebody's Knocking. Lord, is it the devil?
I let him in?
Yeah. Terry Gibbs was born on this day. She was at the height of her career. She was similar if you'll go back and remember Ronnie Millsap being blind, she was totally blind. And after she had that one big hit, she decided that country music was not the route she needed to take and left country music and went into gospel.
Is she the only one that ever sung that song?
To my knowledge.
I thought it was a man that sung that song. I literally thought a man.
All
to
right.
this day, I thought a man.
I'm
sang
stretching it. I'm hearing it in my head, and I do not hear a man in that.
Really?
No. Somebody's knocking.
Should I let? Yeah.
Let him in might be a
I'm telling. No. Well, no.
Let her in.
Well, the devil. I mean, they could say him, but I could have swore it was a man singing that song.
Y'all go back and listen to that song, and please comment tomorrow and say, Candace, what were you thinking?
I'm sorry, I did.
1963, another old girl was born. Y'all knew her. She's tough. She was, I think it was Mad About You was one of her big TV shows.
Yeah.
You might remember her from this also, though. Twister, Helen Hunt, born in 63 on this date.
Yes.
She's a pretty thing. Nice girl.
I don't ever see her in anything anymore. I mean, have you seen?
No,
anything
now that you bring, I had that
currently
pause.
or anything.
Yeah.
So look, somebody else thought it was a man too. Jan thought it was a man too.
Jan Bushman, you don't count.
It does not sound like a woman.
Jan,
She.
there is no.
She does not sound like a woman. Okay.
Folks, I'm telling you.
Y'all pull it up.
Them
Tell me what you
two,
think. Yeah.
y'all need a bus ride
Look,
together.
Barbara and Glenn Smith.
There
They thought
is
it was a man also.
No way. 1963, you would wake up and maybe you're sad and lonely. Yeah. Well, they wrote a song about it. And all you had to do was act naturally. It was the #1 song in America, and it was Buck Owens who took to it. He brought the Bakersfield sound to your car radio and just made it a big hit there. A lot of folks love Buck.
I liked Buck Owens.
1964, this was big, and I don't think that I actually watched this show because I was busy in radio and had to go to bed early. I don't think I watched it when it was actually on television. It would be reruns before I started watching it and went, okay, it really was funny.
She's from Birmingham, Alabama.
I didn't know that.
She is.
Courtney Cox, born in 64 on this date. Now, she's a beautiful woman also.
She is pretty.
She's a pretty thing. 1969, Ice Cube was born. You go, Ice Cube, the Ice Tray? No, that's his nickname. He's a rapper, but he's made a lot of movies also.
Friday. You ever seen those Friday movies?
Him and Day Day.
Yeah. It's pretty funny.
It was hilarious. And didn't he do that movie also, Are We There Yet?
I think
With him
so.
and his kids?
Yeah, I think so. He did did you mention that barbershop? Did you just
Missed that.
Okay. Barbershop. I think he was on that. He's pretty funny.
He is. And seems to be level-headed. I've seen a lot of good things. 1969, tonight, when you got off work, you would go home and flip on those 3 channels that you had, and this would premiere, and it would be a part of your home for the next, 20 to 22 years. Hee hee ha ha ha.
Yeah, that's right.
Premiered tonight.
Come up, from the corn.
Yeah. And, of course, we would all grow and love the red, white, and blue guitar after that, as Buck Owens made a statement there with Roy.
Kenny Rogers' wife was on there
She
at
was.
one time. She's real pretty.
She was smoking hot, as they used to say.
She was like one of the prettiest ladies on there, I thought.
Yeah, but he couldn't stay away from the 1-900 numbers during that time.
See, that's when some men, they never happy. Even they could have a great lady and pretty.
Just because you're pretty don't mean you're nice to her.
Well, that's right.
She wasn't whispering the right words in Kenny's ear, so he had to call somebody and pay him to say it, but he said what he needed to hear.
I bet he paid in the end, though, didn't he?
He remarried, I forget what that woman's name was, but he was married to her for a long time in the end.
Yeah.
And I want to say his first wife may have been like a Miss Mississippi or a Miss Tennessee.
Okay.
Can't remember, but it seems that way. Been a long time there. Oh, we need to. I'll say that in a minute. I almost forgot something. 1995. This would upset country music, and then again, I'm not going to go into a lot of detail because he is from here, close to us, over in the edge of Alabama.
Yeah.
And this happened at a rest area in Texas, near Dallas, as he was headed to perform at a police convention. He would go to jail, and he would not make it that night. It would be the end of the career as we knew it.
He was arrested.
Yes,
Yeah.
and he was off to a great start. At that point, the second song, what mattered most, was the #1 song, and I Want My Goodbye Back was on the radio and was headed toward #1, and it would end.
I think he would have been a really good. I think he would have made it big.
He's still out there. He still performs, but that
was a shock to me because I remember one of my friends. It was her cousin.
It changed. It hurt the career bad.
Pretty shocking.
It was. 1973, we moved to the next guy, and I've seen this guy in movies, and I did not realize that he was Doogie Howser.
Yeah.
I had no clue that this is who this was.
Yeah. Neil Patrick Harris.
Yeah. Did you watch Doogie?
I did. I used to watch it. Back then, I mean, we only had, I guess maybe we had cable then, I don't know. Or
we didn't.
I think we just still had 3 channels, so.
In Scuba, Mississippi, they had not even found a dictionary with the word cable written in it at that point.
We might have had one of them big old satellite dishes that looked like a flying saucer out in your yard.
1974, you would walk in the grocery store and look to your right. What would you see? Oh, you'd see Richie Cunningham on the cover of the TV Guide. That was big back in the day. Mr. Clean Cut.
Yeah.
It was. And the jukebox.
I like Ron Howard, though. I think he's always been one of those good guys in Hollywood.
Went on to produce a lot of movies that were really good. We would lose one of the greats when it comes to actors. You would know him from Little House on the Prairie, and then he would move next, along with Michael Landon, to his next TV show of The Highway to Heaven. And, you really think about that show, Highway to Heaven. Think if that really could exist.
Yeah.
Or maybe remember the television show Touched by an Angel?
Yeah.
Maybe all of that really does exist, and we just don't know it. But we would lose Victor French on this date back in 1989. Do you know he was only 53 years old?
Really?
I had no idea. I thought he was much older than that.
He was a very good actor, though. He played those roles well.
He did.
So,
if y'all bump into an angel today, y'all let me know. 1992, this would forever go down in history because the man, as bad as I am sometime on his spelling, this time, but it was a little bit higher office than what I do, it would be the Vice President of the United States spelling potato wrong.
Yeah.
He's been branded ever since.
He spelled it potato, like your toe on your foot.
Yeah.
You need to drop the E.
Again, I ain't making fun of nobody. Y'all saw how I spelled, what word was that a while ago? How to misspell word?
Borm.
Yeah.
What year were you born?
Back in the 60s, late 60s. That's all I'm saying. 2015, we would get a memo from Florida that this guy was getting ready to run for president. They thought it's a shoo-in that he's got it. He's going to win it hands down. The American voter thought, I don't think so, because you know what? He can't fix it. Jeb would end up going home, and the Bushes would forever, evermore dislike a guy named Donald Trump when he told him what the rest of America already thought. You're weak.
Yeah.
You can't do it. There's not a strong bone in your body.
I think it's going to take somebody strong to fix this mess that we're in.
I think so.
I think somebody just needs to, like yesterday when I was watching where Biden was saying how he's changed Americans' lives. Have you seen that?
Yeah, well, it's one of our headlines.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah, he has.
We'll have a good little discussion about that.
1996, we would lose one of these. And I remember watching these TV commercials when I was little. Is it live or is it Memorex?
Yeah.
We would lose Ella Fitzgerald on this date back in 1996.
Yeah, where she cracks the glass.
Yeah. Also in 2014, you heard this guy for years. As we grew up, we didn't know what he looked like. But he carried us through so many Sunday afternoons of
Casey Kasem.
Right there by the radio.
I loved Casey Kasem. We always, the American top 40 countdown.
Did you make a long distance dedication?
We would record the top 40 countdown to listen to it back, on cassette tape.
Candace's long dedication was from Meridian to Decatur to her boyfriend.
Oh, yeah.
She wrote Casey Kasem each week. Tell him I'm thinking about him.
He would read these little, I did not do that, by the way.
Sure you didn't.
He would read these little letters that were written to him about people and play a love song for them.
That he did at that. The Lauderdale County Farm Supply is open this morning on exit 151. You'll drop in and see them there. Drop in right off the interstate. Visit with them. They're open there on 49th Avenue. If you need some sod, they got plenty of it today. Get it out in that yard before it gets too hot.
Yeah.
Put some water in. The flower shop is open today. You need a little extra something? Visit with them. They'll show you. We've got flowers and a whole lot more, including all of these shirts that are cool. If you've never worn one of these, they're called fishing shirts.
Yeah.
They're great.
Real lightweight.
Need a ball cap. They got those as well. And lawn furniture. for days. A bunch of it there. Comfortable. Hats galore, jeans, jackets, and overalls. Comfortable shoes and even mud boots for that working man or woman. Yep.
Right.
Pet supplies and a whole lot more, including guns, ammo, and seed and feed for all your animals. See them. Lauderdale County Farm Supply. Again, exit 151 off the interstate. Stop by today. Visit with a friend. You'll be glad you did.
At the Promised Land Journey, Pastor Bill Freeman will be your tour guide through the world of the biblical times. Roughly 3,000 people take the tour of Lauderdale County's recreation of Moses' Tabernacle, a tour of Christ's crucifixion and burial tomb, as well as a bird's-eye view of first-century Jerusalem and the Holy Land. Schedule a free tour and consider donating to the Promised Land Journey located at Covenant Life Church, 624 Highway 19 North in Collinsville.
It was a Monday morning on our way to his first day of preschool. We were both nervous and excited. Then someone ran a stop sign. I called Richard Schwartz and he got us the money we deserved.
I'm here for you. One call, that's all.
Tanya Johnson Branning says she remembers those 3 channels that we all had. If you didn't like it, it was just too bad.
I know. We had the big long antenna up the side of our house, that we would climb up there and get on the roof and sit.
When we move to our new studio, guess what? We're going to have one of those because it's a metal building we're moving to, and we won't be able to pick up anything.
Oh, okay.
So in order to get the weather alerts, we got to put one of those, and it's your job when we're on the air to go out and twist the antenna.
Oh, okay.
So you already got your
Let
duty.
me just tell you, if it's lightning, that's going to be your job, not me.
A couple of birthdays that we need to mention this morning. I understand that Odie Barrett's baby sister, Charlene Gaddy, is having a birthday today. Hope it's a big one for you, Charlene.
Happy birthday.
What was that song that what's-his-name sang for you? Oh, T. Graham Brown. Wasn't it Charlene? Didn't he have that?
I don't know.
I think so.
I don't know. And then I've seen where Carolyn Holcomb is having a birthday today.
Yeah.
So people are telling her happy birthday. Hope you have a wonderful day today.
Let's see. That's only Joy Settle is having a birthday, too, it looks like.
All right.
Few of
Goodness,
those.
lots of birthdays today.
Yeah.
And if you have a birthday and you would like us to mention it on air, just send us a message or put it up here as a comment.
Yeah. Let's see. As we look around, a declaration has been signed for the folks of Montana. What has happened? Yellowstone National Park, we mentioned it yesterday. It's a disaster. The entire state now has been ruled a disaster, and we'll be able to get federal grants to help repair the city in the state. Awful there. People are having to be rescued from their homes along anywhere near Yellowstone.
Goodness.
Now, this next thing they're going to rename, we've been talking about monkeypox. We've got about 30 cases across the United States, in the U.S. They're going to rename it. They say that the name is racist, and the WHO is going to rename it. So, World Health Organization. That's coming to you. We had some flips last night as we get into Republicans in Texas. A chair that had been held for 10 years by a Democrat has been flipped by a Republican.
That's right.
They said that she's the first Hispanic-born American to win the seat, to serve in Congress. Congratulations to her. Seems like there was another person unseated in South Carolina last night. I have to go back and look that up.
But she has conservative views. She respects, that people want to raise their children in a way that is a conservative way. I mean,
Right.
She respects that, and she wants to uphold that. So I think it's a great win.
I'm going to have to ask you to help me pronounce this word because I always mispronounce it every time that it is brought up.
Alopecia.
And that's a hair loss thing.
You can't control it. It's a hair loss. A lot of people lose their hair on their head. They'll lose their eyebrows and eyelid. It's possible to lose all their bodily hair. So.
But the FDA has approved a drug that's going to help grow your hair back. That is good news.
Yes, it is.
Because
that is, especially, men do. I think hair loss can be, it can bother everybody, but men tend to lose hair more than women. When it happens to a woman, it's really life-changing. It can be.
That can be. And I'm only grinning over here because I'm reading something that was on the screen, and only in Jan style. She goes, everybody missed my birthday May 31st.
Oh.
And everybody is telling her online, happy birthday now.
Happy birthday, Jan. Yes.
She's a sweetheart.
Sorry we missed your birthday.
I had no idea, Jan. I'd have come by and had cake with you if I'd have known that. Whew. Let's see here.
I can't believe Scotty Ray missed it.
I did. Just totally. Whew. I haven't gotten details on this. This broke yesterday that Amber Heard, the girl that blamed Johnny for everything, and she just continues to dig deeper herself in a bigger hole.
Messy girl. I'm going to call her that. Messy girl.
Messy girl. But it was released yesterday, and she's going, no, it's not true. So who's telling the truth? That her character had been replaced in this Aquaman movie that had come out. That they were just going to cut her out of the movie and replace her. She's saying that it's not true. Other reports that it is. So we'll see today maybe who's telling the truth on this story.
Okay.
Oh, Joy says it's not her birthday. It's not until October. Well, Joy, early happy birthday.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know where we got that, but I'm sorry.
I thought I read that up there.
Tried to make her older before she's older. Goodness.
Now, you brought this up just a second ago where Joe was patting himself on the back saying that he has done so much for America. Inflation is not bad, that Americans have more money than ever. You want to tell that to the folks?
He is in La La Land. I'm telling you, yeah. He has changed people's lives. He's like run them in the ground. He's
that's like telling someone that the sky is purple and not blue.
Well, that, and I heard too where they're saying that people have more in their savings accounts than they've had in a long time, and that is a bunch of bull because, as we know, everything's going up. People are having to dip into their savings accounts just to make it.
Yeah, they even the headline I'm reading here, it says, since I took office, families have less debt, more savings. Biden makes this series of false claims. And it is false.
This is getting almost comical because it's ridiculous for him to say these things. I mean, it's just...
Let me see. Oh, and stock market has fell 20%. I have people telling me every day, I don't even want to look at my 401k anymore in my retirement.
Yeah, somebody said it shouldn't even be called a 401k. It should probably be called a 2.
Yeah, it's going down. Gas prices average now across America $5.02. I got a text last night that I forgot to post. Meridian, I've seen it as high as $4.78.
Well, like somebody popped on and said diesel, wherever they are, is $7. Diesel. It's getting crazy. And, come election time, I hope people just... If people keep making these comments, oh, you're so much better off, I just want to say, be quiet and get out of the way and let somebody clean up your mess. Because this is a big mess, and it's going to be a big job. I don't care who it is that takes it on.
Now, this next thing that I'm going to say is kind of concerning when it comes to the White House and things that go on. Trump put on a lot of tariffs on China. It looks as though the Biden administration is going to start lifting some of those. They are not our friends, I want to remind everybody.
Right.
Y'all keep that in mind. This one totally concerns me, and in my opinion, and I don't know the law, maybe somebody knows the law, but the mayor, remember why they want to add an extra state to the United States is because it would lean a political way, and then maybe they could push more agendas through. But the mayor of D.C. has added a 51st star to the Stars and Stripes. I would think only Congress can do this.
Yeah.
That's concerning.
It's kind of like they just do whatever they want, just like Biden disciplining those officers who were cleared of what they'd done, what we talked about earlier. That's an abuse of power. Overstepping bounds, I think.
What they're doing in the District of Columbia, they want to make it badly its own state. It's been vetoed, and it's not going to happen. But they are flying these flags with 51 stars above Pennsylvania Avenue in Washington, D.C., just so that you know. That concerns me.
That shouldn't even be allowed.
No, I don't think so either. Something to think on there. Scotty Ray and Candace, y'all stay with us. Rockhouse Gun and Pawn is having a 10-year anniversary celebration blowout. Absolutely no sales tax on used firearms. 25% off all gun cleaning and gun care accessories. And a free box of ammo with every purchase of a new Glock pistol. 50% off all pawn electronics. 50% off on pawn tools. 25% off on all jewelry. Huge markdowns throughout the store. It's the Rock House 10-year anniversary celebration blowout. 5430 Highway 19 North.
It was a Monday morning on our way to his first day of preschool. We were both nervous and excited. Then someone ran a stop sign. I called Richard Schwartz and he got us the money we deserved.
I'm here for you. One call, that's all.
Godwin Cleaning Services out there today cleaning somebody's house or business, making it look better. That's what they're going to do all day, from fleet washing to getting your buildings. They even have drones that fly out in those hard-to-reach places to clean it. Whether you got a metal roof, you've got a shingle roof, either which way they can clean it, make it look as good as this or even better. 253-8262. They take the time to do it right. They make your driveways look good. When you pull up at home, it makes you proud that you live there.
Yeah.
Clean. Doesn't take all that long at all. They'll be in and out of there in no time flat. They'll clean windows, all of this, including back porches that get slippery, and especially these steps. You get that old mildew on it, and you get a little fog or something. Next thing you know, you've fallen down.
Yeah. You have trees that overhang your home or overhang your porches or decks.
Yep.
It happens a lot. Yeah.
Clarkdale, they invited him out to clean that scoreboard. You can actually see what the score is now. Another roof here that's been put back to its original look, bright red. Again, they can set you up on a timetable there every couple of months or quarterly, however you want to do it, just to make yourself look good. Again, give them a call, 253-8262. That's Godwin Cleaning Services, where they take care of everything for you there.
That's right. Let's see. I wanted to mention a comment. Jimmy Robinson said, can people on fixed income survive until an election? We're in a pitiful situation in this nation. I often think about this, and I wonder what it's going to be like in 3 more years. Because in 1 year, the damage that's been done is it's almost like tragic. I mean, it is. It's awful. And in 3 more years, I don't know. You know, all we can do is pray about it and hope something turns around in the meantime. I don't know what it could be.
Here's a heads
his replacement, I don't think would be any better than his.
No, it's not.
So
we got some years to work this out.
Yeah.
We look at headlines. Be careful on this of overpaying for things as we start to see property prices are kind of plunging in other areas of the United States. Right, a 20% decrease is already hit in some of these home prices. They're not selling. Doesn't mean that it's going to be that way everywhere, but the spike to where you were paying way overboard is starting to come down now. Maybe get realistic.
So what I wonder is, in stuff like that, these people who have bought homes at way higher value than what they're going to now, are they going to be like kind of like you'd be upside down in a car?
It's possible.
So.
And that's coming one day with car prices as well, as we see that people pay so much for a used vehicle because, well, they can't get another one. One day, those cars will be released and prices will come back down. Just use kind of common sense with what you're doing there.
If you're trading a car in and you know you owe a lot on this car and you're trading it in, you know what they're going to do? They're going to put that on top of what you're going to owe for this other car, and you'll like immediately probably be upside down. So do make good decisions, because we've all made bad ones.
Here's something sad that you won't see anymore. After 27 years, it's going away after today. Internet Explorer, the E with the swirl through it. Let me pull up this picture. Ends today. It is gone. That'll be the last time you see it. They're remarketing it. I don't have a picture of what it will look like after this. Can you live without that?
I'm sure I probably can. I don't know.
Can't say any notice.
I don't think it's going to affect me that much.
Let's glance around a few more things that are happening. Fran Drescher, remember her from The Nanny? That shrill voice. She divorced her husband after she found out that, well, he was having an affair with a man. After some time, she married somebody else that she didn't get along, and she's moved back in with husband number one and intends on spending the rest of her life with him. I don't know if they're going to ever remarry again.
The one that was one with a man?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. But she said she loves him to death.
Okay. She might have settled right there, but, you know.
I'll leave that there.
Yeah.
Let's see here. As we watch the Roe versus Wade, as we had people show up in front of Brett Kavanaugh's house, a Supreme Court justice, what turned him in was the sister of the man. He called her to tell her what he was going to do, and she called police and talked him out of doing anything. That's a good ending to that. I didn't know how that went down.
Yeah, I do think that Chuck Schumer should be
charged with inciting a riot.
Right. He needs to be, something needs to be done with him. Will it ever be? Who knows? Possibly not. Somebody had asked, somebody asked about us moving from MeTV. Yeah, we will not be on MeTV anymore come July 4th. We'll be on Fox 30.
Yeah, that's coming less than a month now, 2 to 3 weeks out. I'd have to look at a calendar.
I think most everybody can get Fox.
Yes.
So that's a good thing.
Satellite, you can get it there also. Regular channel, 30. We'll bring you more about that. We're excited as that comes about there. All right, we'll be back tomorrow morning. Thank y'all so much for coming and joining us today and being a part of our world and letting us be a part of yours.
I know. Thank y'all and have a wonderful day and hope you stay safe, and we'll see you at 8 a.m. in the morning.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners: